Demont Teneil is a model coach and a creative director with almost 20 years of experience in the hair and fashion industry. I talk one-on-one with Demont for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Demont Teneil, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
How are you?
Good. Welcome.
Good.
Yeah, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups. I know, Demont, that you are actually a creative director and model coach, and obviously you've been involved with the hair and fashion show industry that is for nearly 2 decades. So tell me, what's new, what's now with Demont Teneil?
Yeah. So right now, I would have to say I guess, just overwhelmed by all the love and the support that Paulson has shown me over the past over the past 2 decades right now. And right now I'm working on a Mother's Day show because really my passion really came from my mom being in the hair industry. So I want to be able to pay homage to the women and of course her, just for of course one, getting me here and then just allow me to be in her world. And I just want to really give back to the community and just build confidence in the community, especially in women.
What is the state of hair and fashion right now as you know it?
I would have to say it's growing tremendously and it's becoming very diverse. I think now with technology in a play and just these kids now having access to be able to now get the hair and fashion industry in school now, they're getting started at a really young age. So I would say now I'm kind of working under them now, trying to get the elementary and middle school kids on board. So when they get to high school, they have a sense of that foundation so they can really grow from there. Because in all reality, it would be great for once they hit their senior year, they've already started a business or got their foot in the industry.
And you talk about that sense of foundation that you're trying to create for those grade school students. What is your foundation in the hair and obviously fashion industry?
Yeah, so I would have to say I started at the age around between 8 and 10. My mom knew that I could dance, and she did a hair show, and she was like, "Hey, create something for me." And I kind of got the opportunity at a really young age, and it was just really history from there. Just being involved in the back office and just on the front end of just creating gowns and just being very creative when it comes to just putting myself out there at a really young age. So that's really been my foundation, is just my mom allowed me to be in her world and just trusting me and seeing if I can do it.
So what are you creating these days?
I would say right now I'm creating more community events just to really kind of bridge that gap between, I would have to say, adults and kids, because I think fashion is a wide range when it comes to age gaps. I would say it starts as, you need clothes in this world. So it's just being able to start with the kids and then also allowing the kids and the parents to bond when it comes to fashion and creativity.
How are you actually bonding with the kids and the parents and the other adults with your fashion and hair experience?
So very simple. I would say just creating fashion show events. So being able to have the kids involved or doing more of, I guess they would say mommy and me or daddy and me looks, and just like creating something so they can collab, just to show like, you don't always have to tell your kids to go in the room when you're getting ready to do something creative. Allow these kids to be a part of, again, going back into parents, allowing their kids to be a part of their world so they can collab and grow and know what the industry about at a young age so they can go ahead and get their feet wet.
Who are you actually collaborating with so that you can grow in the hair and fashion industry?
I'm actually collaborating with a lot of moms, a lot of local brands. I would say, I don't know if you know Daisy Finley. She's pretty big in the industry. Jaquetta Wright, Soaring Style, the Edge Girl, Teresa Span, and all of those women are moms. So it's just being able to because I think it's a balance of being able to create a garment and also like having to put that mom hat on and then put that entrepreneur hat on, then also the business side and marketing. So I wanted to be able to kind of just lay the stress off a little bit and just whenever I can come in and help and kind of smoothen that out, because I know being in the fashion industry in the South already is kind of, I guess, say off the grid, because being in the South, you're kind of you really need to be in law or in medical or be in some type of 9 to 5. But these women, and I would say men too, but predominantly women, are taking that chance to go against the grain, and I'm 100% supportive of that.
How are you actually going against the grain with your experience?
I would have to say I'm really focusing on putting more culture when it comes to fashion. I think certain times I would say I feel like even just being in Charleston, to be completely transparent, fashion is now have a certain race on where things should look like. And I really want to be able to focus on more curvier people and also just people that are tall and just different things and mixing patterns and bringing the Geechee culture into fashion because again, without culture, there is no fashion.
What is that culture that is actually missing the most important fashion right now in your mind?
I would have to just say the authentic Black culture. It's missing because I think what it is I would have to say even going back to when I was a kid, church was one of the places you had to dress up. I mean, you have to have on your blazer, your belt, your tie, and women's wore big hats and dress suits, and you don't really see too much of that anymore. It's been watered down for these past few years. I would definitely say in the South. So just being from Charleston, born and raised, I'm really trying to find a way to bring that back because I would say, over the years, things just kind of just get pushed back out, and I'm really trying to put that back forward. Absolutely.
So, what new trends can you actually help you with that?
I would say new trends. I would say out of the box. I think lately it's either stripes, solids, or that's pretty much it. But being able to mix patterns and finding something maybe very grungy and then also make it very beautiful, or a really nice 2-piece suit that maybe be more focused for a church event, but being able to wear it out because it's something classy. So really just taking things that you probably wouldn't put together and putting it together to really make a statement.
What statement are you really making with your fashion today?
Oh wow! I would have to say the statement I am making with my fashion. I would have to say being out there, and just I would have to say just going against the grain again, man. I think it's been a thing where, for instance, men are usually supposed to wear black and brown and navy colors, but seeing men in colors and yellows and pinks and white, it doesn't demasculate who men are. It's just allowing them to express themselves and being open to wearing different colors and not going a certain way, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know this is a redundant question, Mr. Demont, but how have you been able to express yourself?
Oh man, I put it on. I put on a lot of bright colors. There's times where I do wear more unisex clothing just to be able to show people and men and kids, like, you don't have to live in this box, because I think being in South Carolina, it's a very judgy place to be, I would say, and you can't really express yourself the way you want to. And so being able to just wear bright colors and just put it on and be different is so big for me.
Yeah, and I know you have to run, but let me ask you this one last question. What patterns or designs actually describes you as a person?
Oh man, I would say sequins and snakeskin and just bright colors and maybe things a little more urban but chic. I really love just the all around being able to put things together to create my look.
Wow, that's really amazing. What look do you want to go for in the next 5 to 10 years?
Um, I would have to say something with technology. Being able to find a way to merge technology, because what I think is kids are never going to put their phones down, but let's find a way to merge things and get them to like create something with technology versus just scrolling through Instagram and getting the bad influence of social media, but creating their own influence.
Locally, Mr. Demont, who's actually influenced you from a fashion and obviously a model standpoint?
Oh, that's a great question. Who has influenced me? I would have to really say the women in the church. Only because it was a lot of pressure put on them to look a certain way, and they had to be on every single time. So when they had an off time, they're like, "Oh, well, what's going on? You ain't dressed today." And I just think, I just love how women are really superheroes. And again, it goes back to my mom, like just being in the hair industry. People come not just to get their hair done, but for an experience or for therapy. And she's also, pressured to look nice, and her hair has to be right, because if she's off, then they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know what's going on." So it's just being able to just see the pressure that women go through, just when it comes to just looking a certain way, when it comes to just society alone. It just makes me want to just put more confidence in the community, and also allowing men to, like, instead of over sexualizing women, make them feel good and allow them to know, like, hey, you might be a little bit more curvier than you were 3 months ago, but you're still beautiful. And that's really just right now the platform that I'm on, because things are changing, the world is changing, kids are growing, and I think respect is a big thing that's been something that, society, just privacy and respect isn't really a thing anymore. So being able to put those things back into perspective when it comes to this new generation is so important to me.
Oh, absolutely. And how has fashion and hair become your therapy?
I would have to say, when I'm maybe not feeling the best, I think what I'm wearing will sometimes make me feel better. So I might have had a horrible night or maybe a horrible week, but you can't see it, because again, once I put it on, it makes me feel better. And just being able to look a certain way, and it helps me on the inside versus, how I feel on the outside, on the inside, and it just makes you feel better on the inside.
That's really, really amazing. Well, creative director and model coach Demont Teneil, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.